Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Koki Otaku. Today, with us, we have a very special guest. She voices Ai Hoshino in the trending anime called Oshi No Ko. She also voices Ron, super hilarious, and Urusei Yatsura, and Lastismun in Farming Life in Another World. So please give it up for Dona Bella Litton. Or just say your last name.
Litton.
Litton. I'm sorry. I know. I asked it, and I butchered it again because I thought about it in Spanish.
No, you'd be surprised how many people mess it up. It's fine. You did better than
I'm one of the many now. I'm sorry.
And I'm regretting that I didn't bring the glow sticks. With Jack, I had them, and I'm like, "Oh, we have to record." Yeah, we're recording now, and I'm like, the glow sticks.
No, but we don't have
Did
any
you do
more.
the, little
Yes,
dance?
but that's the thing. We used up the last 2 glow sticks we had.
But anyway, thank you so much, Dana, to joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, you are one of the most important anime series, not only in this spring season 2023. What spring season? Yeah, spring.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in the whole year. One of the anime series that it went viral, not only the moment they released. I remember this being tracking the anime series in the trend, and the week before I see Twitter going viral with this anime series. The night of the premiere, it go wild, and that lasts like for many weeks. Were you expecting this reaction about such important character?
Not really. I mean, when I was cast in the show, I looked it up. You know, just did like a little precursor, like what's the show about? Who am I playing? And that was very exciting when I figured out who I was and like her importance to that first episode in kind of setting things up. And then sort of as we went along with recording, it started to click more like how big of a deal this show is. You know, like there were all these kinds of like articles and like stats about like, oh, this is the #1 anime of the season and it's the most anticipated anime of the season. And I was like, what what's happening? And then when the cast was announced, I got like 100 or something new followers on Twitter, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for someone who has historically not had a lot of followers on Twitter or spent a lot of time on there, it was crazy, eye-opening.
It is hard to get follower if you are doing something normal, not something weird random. You're a professional, very ethical person that going the normal pathway. You're going doing something weird, crazy, not very ethical. You get easy a lot of followers, honestly. But by the way, guys, today we're going to have a spoiler here. There's no way. I'm not holding my chances tonight, especially with such important character with Ai Hoshino. So, if you had to describe Ai Hoshino, how would you describe that such important character?
Oh my gosh, she's just kind of optimism as a person. You know, she's just got this spirit of like knowing that things are not ideal and that, you know, she's not a perfect person, but that she really wants to be and she wants to make other people happy. I mean, she's just like a ray of light.
I am honestly surprised. When I saw that first episode, it is not common in anime, or at least any anime that I've seen, to show teen pregnancy. So, like, to have this character, like, right off the bat, boom, teen pregnancy at 16, and now you have twins, and then obviously, I'm gonna spoil things because time has passed, but then we get the murder of one of the main characters, and then they're basically reincarnated as Ai Hoshino's kids, and it's all of her struggle as a teen idol too, having the teen pregnancy, and wanting to hide that because it would have ruined her image, and then all the way up to the end of Ai Hoshino. Like, how do you first feel when you came across this character and they told you, like, well, this is what's going to happen to her? But she's, like you said, she's optimism personified, while also having like a very tragic upbringing or background, because she was an orphan. Well, not an orphan, sorry. Her mom is in jail, her dad is nowhere in the picture. And it's just like, okay, we took you from a group home, we made you into an idol, this happened, and then boom, you're dead. Like, how do you feel?
Well,
how do you feel with this character?
From kind of a selfish actor point of view, I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be in the series that much. But also from an actor point of view, I think about how much I studied, like in college, studied stories and like story devices and the roles that certain characters have in stories. And, you know, like I said before, she really sets up the whole series with who she is and what happens to her. And it's really cool to play that kind of character who, you know, obviously I'm still kind of like, I've had to find like her motivations, her objective, if you want to get really actor speak about it. But also knowing the whole time this is her fate and this is the reason why we are seeing this character, is to set the stage for, you know, her kids later on, what they go through later on.
And for me, it's so I'm still kind of confused, not in a bad way, just because it's not usual to see this kind of character where the whole series, when again, I never read the anime, the manga before, I never read about this, I just looking at the trend that people are going crazy in the internet with this picture of Ai Hoshino. So in my mind going to be a series about her. First episode is one of the best prologue episode I ever seen in the anime industry episode. Never seen something so detailed, so important, so entertaining, so complete in so many. It's full of so many great things. However, like you just mentioned, your character is the main pillar of the whole series. That without Ai Hoshino, without that performance, without that well story development in those first 90 minutes, the series wouldn't go anywhere. There will be no Oshi No Ko series at all. Mm-hmm. And then when at the end of the episode she died, and I'm like, holy cow, this is so mixed feeling. What happened here? Even so, the series keep being great. So let me ask you, when we interview voice actor and they speak about experience recording an episode, we people who never been in voice acting at all, we imagine that you record per episode, per session. For this first episode on 90 minutes, it was all recorded in one session, or was multiple sessions?
It was a few sessions. We had to add a little bit of time, actually, in the end. Our director, Shannon, is so incredible and has such an amazing eye for detail. And, you know, when we started working on this, he told me, we're going to take our time. We want to give this the love that it deserves. And, you know, there were definitely moments where I was like, God, I've said this one line like so many times, and I don't know how I can say it differently anymore. But I feel like I'm still grateful for even those parts of the process, because I think that the result, like you said, the episode is so detailed, and I feel like the care that we gave to it just enhances that, you know, and you can get really minute about details in acting. And that's kind of what we did. So it did take a little while to record this one.
I love the fact that you're not the first, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to be the last to say that you guys put so much heart and soul into your recording. Honestly, like as people who consume this product, like we so appreciate that, because in our case, there's always, when the podcast first started, and it's still something that's very pervasive in the internet, the subs versus dubs war, and we're like, "Oh, we don't care. It's like, you can submit in whatever language you want. Again, I'm just like so thankful for the fact that, okay, you guys put just as much thought and effort into this as the original ones.
What do you like most about Ai? I mean, there's way too much terrain. Oshi No Ko is a full series. I feel like it really exposed one of the industry. I mean, exposed it, because we never hear about the idol industry. We just see their idol, they're famous, they're rich, they have a lot of money and followers, they live happy ever after. But this series exposed so many non-talking points that people are not aware of. Like you mentioned one, the pregnancy of teenagers. That's something that never crossed our mind, especially Hispanic people. For us, that's kind of normal at one point.
Well, but it can be kind of
depending
normal,
where you come from.
Depends on where you come from, but it's still like a that girl's pregnant. There's still that what's the word?
There's like a stigma around it.
Yes, there is a stigma also. Yes, the stigma. But yes, going back to Ai Hoshino. The fact that she is the spark that sets off the entire series and builds, puts everything into place for the entire series to go to. Yeah, how do you feel about all that?
Gosh. Well, one thing I really like about her is just her ability to kind of roll with the punches. You know, I mean, that's something that I work on in my life. You know, I have spent time and will continue to spend time working on just being adaptable and flexible and taking everything about the present moment for what it is, you know, and not trying to like control things about it. But I just think it's amazing how, you know, she's like, I'm pregnant. Okay. I'll figure it out. I have twins. Okay, I'll figure it out. You know, I need to make more money. That sucks, but I'll figure it out. It's like, I think that's a superpower, you know, and it's part of the reason why she shines so bright.
Not only that, she was suggested, like, hey, let's finish it because your career is going to be over, or your career is going to be over, which is kind of common or normal, or was what the average happened. But she was so positive. No, I'm not going to give up my career. I want to have my babies, and I will keep my career. So I had the same expression of the other character, the doctor. Not the doctor, yeah, the doctor, which is Jack Stanford. He was like, what? Like, how are you going to do this? And I swear to you, I felt identified with those lines that he expressed over there, because I was thinking the same, like, how somebody, yes, it's a story, but even that, there's people like that out in the real world. Only that people doesn't speak about these people. And seeing this, I was so satisfied, so rich to watch this positive attitude, especially from Ai. Mm-hmm. And I have to confess something. One of the lines that I really love about Ai, there are two lines that really hit me hard. The first one, hopefully I'm not misquoting it. Lying is a form of love, which he said it very often.
Yeah.
And the other one that really hit me, that she said it many times, but at the end she said it like very hard, that you keep lying until it became a reality. And I'm like, holy cow, that's something strong. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think what she says towards the beginning is lies are the most exquisite kind of love. And you know, from her perspective, she believes that because, you know, she's lying because she wants to feel the love for other people. But honestly, I feel like just the fact that she has that kind of care means that she already loves them. She doesn't even know, you know. She's just, I think, scared of course she talks about in the end, she was scared of it being a real lie. She's afraid that she won't feel that love, but it's like she can't see the forest for the trees and the fact that the love is already there, you know.
No, and also the fact that she took that same approach with her kids, having never said "I love you" to the kids until her last 9 moments, because she was afraid of that. At any point when you were recording like that last scene, did you feel like super emotional, or like how did it come across for you? Because like, here's this character who's so optimistic all the time, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can in the world to provide the best life for my kids, and then it's cut short.
Yeah, I mean, well, for one thing, when we got the final takes of that scene, I was PMSing, so I was already emotional. So just recording the scene, you know, we're
Compounded there.
Yeah, exactly. We're working chronologically through the scene, right? And there's, of course, a natural buildup within the scene itself. And then I'm moving through that buildup a lot more slowly. But that means that it's like a snowball rolling down a hill. And by the time we were finished and watched the whole thing through, I was just weeping. We watched it, and then it was over, and we were all kind of silent for a second, and I was like, y'all, I'm PMSing. This is not fair right now. I'm so emotional. But I mean, I'm a firm believer that the things you feel during PMS are just they're valid, and they're a little exaggerated, but it's just kind of building off what's already there, you know? And I kind of knew that when we got to that scene, it was going to be like that, because it's such a big moment for her to realize that she is capable of feeling love, and she's capable of saying that to her kids. You know, it makes me sad that she never tried to say it before that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine how you were feeling that time. Okay, we're going to record this scene now, so like, let's add more to the emotion, because they're not never enough. And for those who doesn't respect the opening and ending credits sequence, there was an extra scene on that first episode. So if you don't believe me, go now to HIDIVE and go for episode 1. After the credit, there was an extra moment. So I was already feeling awful, like, oh my god, what just happened here? I didn't see this coming at all. Like,
Yeah, that scene got me.
No way I knew that was going to happen. What happened at the end? I mean, at the end, she got stabbed by one a big fan, crazy, because he was mad that she got pregnant, and he felt betrayed that his favorite actor got pregnant, which sounds crazy, but sadly, it's not craziness. It's very realistic, as we're seeing here. And they mentioned very sensitive point during the whole series, that many things that they mentioned this series that sounds crazy, fantasy out of mind, they're not fantasy. They're very realistic. They're not talk often, but they are over there. So, and that last scene, Jesus Christ, it killed me. I went to bed so sad. I'm like, I don't regret watching this series. I love it, but oh my god. So, from the whole series, we're talking beyond that episode 1. So far, what any scene that really hit you, that you love, or you really didn't see it coming?
Honestly, I have not had time to watch the rest of the series, unfortunately. It is definitely on my to-watch list, you know. The life of an actor that's got like 1,000 jobs, you know.
Totally fair. So we're gonna talk now about Ron and Urusei Yatsura. So yes, Ron is basically the rival for the main character. without Ron, there wouldn't be obviously the conflict. How do you feel? First of all, how would you describe the series Urusei Yatsura? Like, we have other actors describe it before, but how would you describe Urusei Yatsura?
Oh my god, what a task. It is a wild romp through the problems of being a teenager and also an alien sometimes.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yes, very
The
accurate.
best way to describe it. Never thought about that.
See that's why I like asking all of you guys. How would you describe it from your perspective? Because it's always different. It always changes.
There's
In
just
regards,
so much going on in that show.
yes, there is. In regards to Ron, how have you felt dubbing this character? Like, has it been everything you expected? Has it been challenging? Has it been fun? Like, how would you say it's been for you?
It's so fun. Oh my gosh, I love playing Ron. For one thing, it can be very cathartic at times because I've had sessions where I'm basically just shouting expletives the whole time. And I don't normally get to do that as an actor. When we first started, I was very excited because I've never played a character like that before, in any kind of format, voiceover, stage, whatever. But I was also a little scared because I've never played a character like that before. And for me, it's been so freeing to find my voice through Ron, like literally and metaphorically, because I've spent a lot of my life like being told by like directors for shows and my voice teacher in college to like be louder and to not be afraid of my power. And this has been a really cool experience for me to like really step into those notes and do as much as I can on the first take and not be worried that it's too much.
So when you say being louder, like literally, figuratively, like what would you say? Like
Literally.
just like like literally shouting.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I was always very shy as a kid. I always say it doesn't make any sense that I became an actor because I was painfully shy.
You know
And
what? You're not the only one. You're not the only one who said that before.
I believe it. I fully believe it. And even in college, I was studying to get a degree in musical theater. I had a professor who, in his class, if he asked us a question and I like raised my hand to answer the question, almost every time I started speaking, he would say, "Speak up." I was like, "Okay, I'll try." Because I just have been very soft-spoken for most of my life.
You said that Ron has felt cathartic. Have you felt that you have surpassed your goals and gone above and beyond in that sense?
Yes and no. I think that when I first started recording as her, I was like surprising myself with how easily I kind of slipped into that character and was able to like physically use my voice in a bigger way than I really ever have. But also like the goals are always changing and shifting. I've kind of surpassed what I thought I could do with this. Now the next time I go do it, maybe I'll surpass something else, like another goal or whatever. I think there's always room for that.
I was just going to mention that Ran is the perfect model of a great girlfriend as a character. Toxic as hell! She had nothing to lose. She's not holding her punch. She's like super aggressive. Am I right?
That makes her a great model.
I think
I mean-
there's something to be said about speaking her mind, I guess, but I wouldn't want to be her girlfriend.
Oh my god, I think I'm with you there because I'm like, Onyx, I think you're valuing you're valuing like really bad qualities there.
It's a super fun character. I love her because she doesn't hold her punch at all. She's like super expressive. She doesn't hold anything. She's going to do whatever she has to do to get her what she wants. The guy. So
Okay, but that is a good thing. That to some level, like, yeah, speak your mind. Like, girl, don't get held back. But to be toxic, no.
Sometimes
No.
being toxic is not that bad. Let's not get weird. Let's get to the next anime, just in case. So we're sidetracking
We're
here.
philosophizing here too much. Yeah, move on.
Oh man.
I am honestly mad about this next anime. And the reason that I am mad is because there's only been 2 episodes published. And I'm asking Onyx all the time, when's the next episode coming out? The anime I'm talking about is Farming Life in Another World. We had interviewed, I believe it's Jack, right?
Jax
Yes.
That's great.
Yes, we interviewed Jack Stansberry, and he was a character in Farming Life in Another World. I'm sorry, Jack, if you're seeing this. I totally forgot in the heat of the moment. But the thing is, we had talked about Animal Crossing at that time, the fact that Farming Life in Another World is very task driven. Again, I found this anime very comforting. He had said so before, and I so agree with him on this. Like, it's very comforting to the point that, again, I'm asking Onyx, hey, when's the next episode coming out? So in this, up till now, I do believe there's only 2 episodes that have been published, and we haven't been able to see your character yet. So I'm waiting. I am really anticipating to be able to see you. The character that I'm talking about is Lastismun in Farming Life in Another World. How was your experience dubbing this character?
Well, I haven't done much of it yet. I think she shows up around episode 8, if I'm not mistaken. But first impressions is that she's just she's so cute. She's like a dragon girl, which funny enough, it's not the first time I've played a dragon lady. But she like doesn't.
You weren't looking, but both our faces were like, what?
Yeah, we're getting to that soon.
About that.
Yeah,
we'll talk more about that part. So yes, going back to you.
Yeah, but she doesn't really know how to control her form shifting yet. So in her human form, she's got like a dragon tail and I think horns or something like that. Yeah, she's just really cute. She seems like, kind of innocent, naive, just is helpful, doesn't really know exactly what she's doing, but she's there.
I can tell you guys, this anime series, Farming in Another Life, is so relaxing. I know already that there will be some slice of life, not slice of life,
Ecchi.
Ecchi.
You said ecchi.
They will be there. It was confirmed by a good source that the ecchi, they always throw it over there, which I had nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But I can tell you guys, it's a great anime series. It's relaxing, great. It's a great one to sit down and chill and relax from a hard day of work. And it's on HIDIVE, new episode every Wednesday at 10 a.m. EST. Eastern. So I don't know the 10 a.m. truth, but I know it's on Wednesday. They release an early new episode. So right now, episode 2 is June 21st. So tune in because guys, trust me, it's a great one. The only bad thing, like,
episode 3. Episode 3. Yes.
Episode 3, whatever, on Wednesday every.
Oh,
Wednesday.
that's what we're watching tonight.
Wait, Wednesday today? Oh, today, yeah, today's Wednesday. I forgot about that.
Today's Wednesday. Yes, we're watching that tonight. Yes.
There we go.
That's one I also have not had time to watch yet, but from what Jack has said about it, I'm like, I need to get into this. And just like, you know, it's the same thing of like not having time to do a lot of relaxing, and I really want to like give it the time, you know, especially if I watch the sub, because it's a lot harder for me to process things when I watch the subs. So I just have to like be very present with it, you know.
I'm always said it. I said it in Spanish. I don't think I never said it in the English episode. I'm like the meme of the subs. The main character looking at the chest of the girl, and this. I get distracted. I can't focus on what's going on. I'm trying to read on the subs, and I'm missing the main action. Especially if we have ecchi, I'm missing the main drama. So now I'm a full dub guy. Like for this anime series for Farming, I waited a lot because I was hoping when it went live on sub, it went kind of viral thread. It was on the top ranks of the anime list for that season. So I automatically knew HIDIVE. I hope you guys are going to make the sub very soon, and boom, they grant the wish. So now they're dubbing the anime, and that's why I'm watching it for the first time now. But everybody told me like, oh yeah, you're going to have enjoy it, relaxing, good detox moment, and never miss the ecchi. But talking something that with less ecchi, we're going to just mention it because it's kind of early, but they already announced the cast for Teasing. Why are we getting
Teasing Master Takagi-San the movie.
Another detoxing anime series, one of my favorites because so lovely. This is the romance between two teenagers on high school. Yeah, they're high school, but it's so innocent. It's so great to watch. Sometimes it's good to look something where you don't see that toxicity, but good humor, good comedy between them. How the girl, she play innocent, the good girl, but she make her move a way that nobody realized, and the guy that's just like me, so it's like 5 minutes late and he never realized that the girl's making a great move, and he's like, oh, did she make a move? No, it wasn't, but he's thinking about the next day, not the same day. So how you feel about this character? You're going to be playing Ota on the new movie.
Yeah, it's a kind of a smaller role, but I had a good time with it. She just seems like she's really there for the two main characters, you know, to kind of help them along their journey. She works in a pet store, if I remember correctly, which I love. I think that's really cute. Yeah, I don't know much about this series. I recorded this fairly early on when I started working with Sentai. So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm jumping in.
One thing we haven't asked, that's the thing, it's like, we've been in here for like, 30 minutes or something, and we still haven't asked, how did you can't come into the world of voice acting? You had mentioned, saying some of the, talking about some of these anime series that you were into musical theater and then all of these things. How did you make your way into the voice acting world?
Well, it's one of those things that, like, from the time I was a kid, I knew I wanted to do some kind of voice acting. This might be really cliche, but I just grew up loving to, like, do funny voices and impressions of people to, like, make my family laugh and stuff. And initially I thought, okay, maybe a good way into that will be like audiobooks. And so that's why I have this mic. I got this with the intention of like recording audiobooks or starting that kind of journey. And then I ended up using it more to create a reel. I just like sat in front of the mic and improvised a few different character types, like lines I thought they might say with their respective voices. And I had a few friends working in voiceover already, so I reached out to them and I said, hey, would you mind listening to this and like giving me some notes so I can improve on it? And then did that, you know, got kind of like a final copy of it. And one of my friends sent it to a director that she had worked with at Crunchyroll. That's how I got my first voiceover job, was with them just over a year ago. And that was the other dragon lady that I played in The Greatest Demon Lord is Reborn as a typical nobody.
Which we're going to get that soon. No.
Yeah, so you're new to the industry.
Yeah.
How have you seen your career grow in like basically a year?
I mean, this is why like the whole Oshi No Ko stuff like blew my mind, you know, because it's really just sounds so stupid, but it has felt like a dream come true so far. You know, I jumped in with Crunchyroll, and then I didn't really have much going on for a while, and then another friend helped me get in with Sentai around November, and then I was just kind of consistently doing things. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is more than I could have hoped for starting off so early in my voiceover career. So it's just been a wild ride so far.
And I had to mention Sentai Field, so definitely I need to find somebody over there to have an episode with them, or one of the representatives, because Sentai Field, one trend that I have seen so far, which I really appreciated, that they bring new voice actor and they don't hesitate to give big opportunities to new blood in the industry, because it's kind of common when we have big voice actor in the anime world, especially in English, those important roles they give it to somebody well known already. Good example, Rico Fajardo is one other guy that's a home run hitter. Whenever it's a big role, he's over there easy. But that's Crunchyroll. But when we go to Sentai Field, we see many voice actors doing excellent, doing great with the performance. And when we read about, let me see the voice actor. I never hear about this person. Super cool. And when we hear this story, it's better because we see that the industry is growing. It's bringing new voice to the industry. Do you feel nervous getting a main role that important in less than a year?
Yeah. I really didn't know what to do with it, you know? Obviously, like it's very exciting, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I just started and all of this is happening already, and I'm Ai Hoshino and this crazy new anime, but there's also the side of it that's like, okay, I don't want to lose sight of things, you know? Not to say that like I'm this incredibly popular voice actor already, but just having that like little taste of like, oh my gosh, I have 100 new Twitter followers. I was kind of reeling myself in the whole time as well, just to like say, okay, well, remember that like your worth is not based on how many Twitter followers you have, or like how many people are watching this show that you're in, or how many roles you get in the future. Like it doesn't change who you are, you know? So it's like a balancing act of letting myself be excited about things, but also just, you know, remembering where I am and who I am and to be in this moment, I guess.
Have you ever gone back over your earlier works and looked at it with like a more in detail and be like, there's things I could have done better way back then, but I didn't know at that time. I did the best I could. Obviously, you're always doing the best you can at the exact moment you're in. Perfect. But right now, after a year of growth, have you ever gone back to your earlier works and been like, I could do this better? But just put it in the back of your mind, and then when you go into the next one, be like, here it is.
Or I wish I knew this before. What would be
that?
Yeah. You know, looking back on that, the first Crunchyroll show that I did, I went into the studio feeling pretty insecure for one thing, you know, just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I even belong here. Like, they made a mistake. They're gonna replace me, you know, whatever the case is. And looking back on pretty much all of the work I've done up until the last year or so, like in theater and singing and whatever it is, I can see like my insecurity, you know, and that's okay. Like you said, I was always doing the best that I could in that moment. So, you know, I try to give myself grace about those things. But actually the other day I saw, this is kind of an extreme example, but a video popped up in my Facebook memories of a cover of a Paramore song that I did in like 10th grade or something, which was funny because I recently did a cover of that song again, just last October, and the difference between the two was crazy. And the biggest difference to me was the confidence, you know, and allowing myself to be with my talent, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, true. It's normal. It's all in the process of growth and just learning and just surpassing your previous self. That's normal. And I do hope when you look at yourself in the mirror, you give yourself a pat on the back and be like, "Damn it, I'm awesome. I'm doing this. I want to keep going." Like, because when you look at yourself way back when, you said, "Yeah, I had some insecurities," but now you're. While there may be some underlying insecurities, at least you know, and you're addressing that. Is it safe to say that the role that helped you the most, because you did mention this before, but is it safe to say that one of the roles that helped you the most was Ron?
Definitely with voiceover. Yeah. And I think just the fact that Shannon, who also directs Urusei Yatsura, the fact that he saw enough in me to give me that role kind of without seeing me do much else before that was like, okay, it's okay to like be confident in what I can do, you know? And beyond that, like we talked about, like literally finding my voice through that role in a way. Yes, it's definitely kind of opened the door to me feeling more free about voiceover work, for sure.
And talking about the series that we haven't spoke yet, the greatest demon lord is reborn as a typical nobody. So, how do you describe that anime series?
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen much of it, but it's of course a reincarnation story, you know. The main character ends up in this like magical academy, which reminds me a lot of Eminence and Shadow, honestly. And my character, Professor Jessica, who my friends have referred to as Professica, she is obviously a professor at this school, and she comes in and is telling the main character like, oh, you can do amazing things, you can be a professor at this school someday, and she turns out to be evil and is kind of luring him into a plot. But it's so wacky. It's like got all kinds of cool magic use elements in it. It's fun.
Donna, thank you so much for joining us tonight to this session.
Thank you again for having me.
Thanks to you, Oriel. For those who haven't followed you yet, which social media can they follow you?
So, I think on Instagram and Twitter, I'm Billy_Donna. There might be an extra underscore on Twitter, actually, because I guess Billy_Donna was already taken. I don't know.
So wait, 2 underscores together, or?
Yeah, on Twitter.
We'll
I believe it's 2 underscores.
It's gonna be in the description.
Don't worry,
guys.
we got that cover. We got that cover for you.
Yeah, so those are the 2 main ones.
So, For those, like always, guys, those links are going to be in the description down this video. So go with the mouse or expand the description. You're going to find those links. Just one click and goes right to those social media page. And for us, like always, we ask you humbly for you to subscribe, like, and share in all our social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Very important here. Like, please share, comment, make a question, anything, guys, will be super helpful. And also all social media, even 3D world, you can VR world, you can going to find us everywhere except OnlyFans. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara.